And we are back again.
Oh man, you should hear the conversation going on before this podcast this morning. This is great.
It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down.
There's a lot of ball busting that happens.
There's a lot.
Joe,
always from a place of love.
Joe, the freaking president of the 302 union.
That's right.
Taking holiday Mondays off.
Well,
How was your holiday Monday?
I call it the shop steward. Yeah. First of all, it's the shop
that's
steward.
Ryan Zinger. Yeah. You're the president now.
No, he's the safety buffalo. So Ryan's job is he's a safety advisor. No one works, no one gets hurt. Me, I'm more of a shop steward. So
yeah. So how was your holiday Monday?
It was good. Went for a hike. Jen and I went for a hike, and didn't really get up to a ton. Some gardening, some yard work. Took some plants back to Home Depot. I feel like Frank the Tank. All in all, a good day. It was a good day. Bed Bath and Beyond. Nice. If we had time.
You know, it sounds like what everybody strives for in life, you know, being in their 40s, going to Home Depot on a Monday, holiday Monday.
Yeah, like I'm not like a fix it Felix though, man. Like I'm not a home repair guy. Although I did take part of our deck apart yesterday, and then I had to redo it. And so yeah, but honestly, I'm more handicapped than.
I don't even try. To do those things. I just know. I've stayed in my lane my whole life, and I'm like, I'm gonna just stay with what I'm good at. It's served me well so far. See how it goes, but yeah, I ain't fucking doing no handiwork like that. It's just not me. I'm not going to do a good job. Mm-hmm. And you know what? One thing that I learned at an early age, taught myself this. I'm like, if you're not handy, you better learn how to make good money to pay somebody else to do it.
That's funny. My dad always said, why do something yourself or you have to pay somebody to fix your fuck up? So
that's smart. That's smart.
Words of wisdom, Pete Moretti.
So, hey, we had some stuff that we were talking off air that we need to kind of air out on this podcast.
And we did. Do
you remember what they were? There was quite a few things we talked about.
Oh my God!
There's so many good things that we're being discussed that we need to bring up on this podcast for everybody to listen to.
So
pick one.
Anyone. We talked about being an actual giver. We talked about opposites. We talked about laws of attraction. We talked about tons of stuff.
Well, let's start with the giving one.
That's a good place to start.
That's really big. So, and here's one thing I've learned in life. You only have so much that you can give, and there's only so many people in your help, and there's so much need everywhere. If you wanted to just focus on need, it's everywhere. The thing for me is that I'm an all-in type of person, and so I've really dedicated my life to focusing on caring about the people around me. Guys like yourself, Ryan, Freddie, all the people that work within our companies, our businesses. So for me, that is who I've dedicated my life. How do I improve your guys' life so that you have the best lives possible? How can I dream up these amazing companies where you guys can come in, be a part of it, and we can all make money together and improve our lifestyle? So that's been like my focus. That's how I try and give back to the world. And in order for us to do that, we need to take care of other people. So through our coaching company, we're helping people through entrepreneurship, through our EXP organization globally, which is at 450 agents now, really cool milestone for us. We're helping people all over the world improve their lives. And so for me, entrepreneurship is that vehicle. And I know you have some passions, like you're big on the underdogs. You know, I noticed you take Ryan under your wing, you take, stray cats into your house. I mean, you guys are up to what, 4 or 5?
There's no you guys. My wife has 4 cats. Jen has 4 cats. I have no cats.
You were telling me the story about Johnny the barber. Who had a rough upbringing. Yeah, Johnny around the edges.
Johnny the barber, man. He's just one of my closest friends. And, I think you just start hearing people's stories. And for me, I've been so fortunate in my life. Like I was blessed with an amazing support system. I mean, my mom, my dad, even now, like I use my kids as my support system. Like I'll vent at my son, and he'll be like, "Yeah, that's cool," just to get it out. He'll do the same to me, and I think Jen is phenomenal. Like I have such an amazing support system. I feel that that's a piece that I need to give back. So I love hearing people's stories, and I love just going, okay, well, how could I help? What could I do to help empower and help move people forward who are kind of stuck? Now, you use entrepreneurship as that way for you to sort of lend that hand to help to get somebody better tomorrow than they were today. Me, I use like empathy, listening, trust, and then just trying to elevate people again, almost like from the soul, I guess you could say. So you could say polar opposites. Some people might say it's actually the same.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of the same skills you have to use. Right?
I would think so, because
you have to have a level of empathy for others, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with you always go, well, yeah, it's I'm going to help people through entrepreneurship. But I think to be a true entrepreneur, the thing that you miss is there's so many pieces behind it. you need to have like a growth mindset. So I think you also help people with mindset.
Right.
Now you help, you can't motivate anybody. Like you can't, I can't, Ryan can't, but you inspire the will to win. You push people who are down, right? You also love those underdogs. You like to buy low on people. You truly do, right? You find those people that have a ton of potential that just haven't had like that kick in the ass, haven't had those handcuffs shattered. So again, it's different, but I also think it's the same. It really is the same. I like to see the good in people, and I know you're a realist, but you like to see the good in people as well. You sort of see that next step, what they can become, which is really important. Not many people are. I mean, you're a true visionary. Me, I'm not. I'm not. I see things sometimes for the way that I'd like them to be versus the way they are. So I get a bit of a disconnect, whereas you're a bit more of a realist. But I don't have that vision, and you do. And I think,
well, but that's a good point that you make, though, because you're very successful in your life, and you have a great life, and you're doing well. And what you've recognized is the importance of you finding somebody like me who is a visionary that you can buy into a vision with and build together, right? See, everybody walks around thinking they need to play this number one role, and it's not even about number one or two. It's about knowing what your superpower is, right? And then finding the right people to surround yourself with. Because most people aren't visionaries. I mean, Joe,
No.
I sit in a room with most people and they probably think that I'm weird. They just don't understand, because I'm 10 steps ahead. The rooms that I hang out in, sometimes, I have to go and find people that think like that in order to feel normal. Like, I don't feel normal compared to the average everyday person, because the goals and the visions that I have for what we're doing are so big that the average person would just think I'm nuts, because the average person is just striving to watch Netflix on a weekend, right? Maybe go camping 2 weeks a year and have a little vacation, right? They want to just be able to cut their little lawn, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but they need somebody like me who can see their genius and their greatness and help paint a picture and say, hey, come with me, let's go. And let's do something bigger together. So I think people do need someone who has those leadership qualities. But in order for these visions to happen, I need people that can do the work that's necessary and help integrate. And I think you're a great integrator. I think you have the empathy, and I think you're really good at building trust and getting the most out of other people, which is a big reason why you're the president of our companies now, right? So it all ties in together. The visionary needs as much other people that balance them out, right? So they need the people that can integrate. So if you're a visionary like me, you're not going to get there just on vision alone. You're going to get there through consistent effort and then finding brilliant people that are strong in the areas that you're not. Your job as a team leader, as an entrepreneur, is to be able to paint a clear picture of where we're going. Not have all the details, because a lot of those details get figured out along the way as you move the yardsticks forwards, right? I always say that entrepreneurship is perfection, imperfection, That's what it is. It's everything is perfectly imperfect. It's never perfect. You're always in beta mode. You're always making adjustments, and you'll learn more by moving the yardsticks forwards than you will over planning. And so if there's a takeaway that you can have a vision, paint the vision for people, right? If you want people to be a part of it, they need to see the future. Like, where are we going? What are we working towards? Otherwise it's Groundhog Day every day.
Yeah.
And it's something about our group, we always have a big picture, something that we're striving towards. It's never complacent, is it?
No, it's not. And I think complacency is such a dangerous place to be. It's almost like, it's like a rocking chair, right? Great way to spend the afternoon, but where the hell does it get you at the end of the day? I rode that complacency for a long time until my house of cards just crumbled. It crumbled it was March 16th. It was March 6th, 2019 at 8:17 a.m., right? Where the whole house of cards just fell.
The golden handcuffs that you used to brag about and say, well, I got these great gig, and you knew you were coasting in life, but you accepted it, and this is where a lot of people, if you don't have a vision for yourself, you'll sort of accept what's there and take it. And you sold yourself on your dreams. You sold them short, in my opinion. And luckily that happened to you. And I happened to be there, had a vision that I could paint for you, and you said yes.
Hey, right person, right time. And I think it doesn't always happen that way. It truly doesn't. It's such a rare thing where you find that person that you click with. So super grateful that we found it. Now, again, as we were talking, you were talking about the way you have this great analogy about how the universe works.
Yeah, there's a law.
So
it's actually a physics law.
It's a physics law.
Everything has an opposite reaction, right? Everything in the universe.
Well, it's yin and yang, man.
Everything has an opposite reaction. For example, in order for there to be darkness, there has to be light. For good to exist in the world, there has to be evil, right? Like there's polarities to everything. Masculine needs feminine. Feminine needs masculine. There's polarities there. They work, right? Well, if you think about this, if you are somebody who wants to elevate your life, and I know this for a fact, the more you give, the more you're going to receive, because the opposite of giving is receiving. And so the more you abundantly give to others and lift people up, the more that's going to come back to you. And I'm going to share a story and an example of why this works so well.
Story time.
So there's two types of people in the world. There's the taker and there's the giver. Okay. So people that have a taking mindset are always looking at, how do I get a discount? How do I squeeze that person for more? How do I get the one up on the situation? Because what they're focused on is the pennies. And so let's just use this analogy. Imagine this, okay? You're looking for a landscaper to come and do your landscaping.
Can I stop you for a sec?
Yeah.
Why don't we use this in an analogy of you're selling a bicycle?
Oh, jeez. No, I don't want to bring up that story because that one bugs me still. We're still working through that, by the way. Yeah, ask me about the bike story. It's driving me nuts.
I'm going to ask you in about 5 minutes.
Well, let me tell you the story. Let me give you this landscaping analogy. So let's just say you're looking for a landscaper to come take care of your property, okay? Landscaper comes, reputable person. They've been recommended by 4 or 5 people in your network, right? Mm-hmm. So they tell you the quote. It's $2,000 to do the landscaping. Now, what would a taker do, Joe?
$1,800.
Yeah, they would
actually $1,750.
Yeah.
$1,750, and it would just be, and maybe I'll take the stuff away because I can take it to the dump for
right.
cheaper.
So they're gonna look to nickel and dime. They're gonna look to cut the invoice down. What are they gonna do? They're gonna call, maybe get 2 other quotes, even though they know this is the person they want. They're gonna try and get a couple other quotes. Okay, you're the landscaper, and I'm the taker, and I'm grinding you down trying to get the invoice out. Well, I can take this, and I can save on this, and I can do that, and I start nickeling and diming this. What's your experience like?
Fuck this, I'm out of here.
Right. Now let's just say though, like, you do the job because you know what, sure, your standards are important to you. So, and I get my $250 discount. So I got it down from $2,000 to $1,750, and I'm high-fiving my guys and bragging about the deal that I got on landscaping. And I'm telling people about this landscaper and how I grinded them down. Now, first off, the people that end up calling that landscaper, what do you think his first impression is going to be when he finds out who referred him?
Everybody's going to want $250 off.
Yeah, everybody's going to want to be grinded, right? He's going to be like, is he going to want to go above and beyond? Is he going to go and clear his schedule out for you? No. So did you win in this scenario? Well, let's find out. So this is how a giver would approach this situation, okay? Reputable landscaper. The quote's $2,000. It's fair. It's reasonable. It makes sense. Perfect. You're hired. Let's do it. The landscaper ends up doing the job on time like they said they would. They do an excellent job. They exceed your expectations, and you're really happy with the work. A go-giver would do this. You know what, Joe? Finds out your favorite beer is XYZ. They buy you a 6-pack of your favorite beer, a nice, thoughtful card. Joe, I just want to genuinely thank you for doing an outstanding job. Not only did you do what you said you would do, you did it on time, and I really, really value your professionalism. The 4 people that recommended you weren't wrong. You are the real deal, and I would absolutely use you again in the future, and I would definitely recommend you to other people. I just want you to know that the work that you do genuinely matters, and I really appreciate it. Okay? So the giver does that. Now, the giver also takes a step further and goes on their social media, posts their experience working with this landscaper, tags their business into it so that now 500 of their people on social media see this.
Leaves a Google review.
Leaves a Google review on their business. Takes it that step further. Goes out of their way and recommends 2 other clients who end up calling this landscaper. Now, what do you think this landscaper is going to think? First off, when those phone calls come in and they find out who it was from, what do you think he's going to think?
Oh, he's going to be right out. He's going to be all over it because they're going to be just like the person you dealt with. You're going to get a case of beer out of it. You're going to be recommended, but you can be recommended to good people.
Yeah. And it's not even about the case of beer. It's just the fact that it's like,
thought.
okay, wow, this person was great to deal with. Be pleasant. Now, if I'm in a bind and I'm an agent and I need you to come in and bail me out of a situation, I have a seller who has a property that needs to be cleaned up. Do you think that you're more likely to say, you know what, Jason, absolutely, I'll figure out how to make it happen for you?
100%. 100%.
Do you think there's a possibility that you may say good things about me to other people?
Absolutely.
Is it possible that you may end up doing business with me in the future?
Absolutely.
Right? Will you recommend other people?
For sure.
Now, here's the thing. Who won in this story? The person who saved $250. Well, a lot of the takers that are listening to this podcast right now are like, well, that person won because you're not guaranteed that you're going to get anything from the other scenario and you end up paying more money and you did all this stuff. Yeah, I did. But if you look at the law of the universe, everything has an opposite reaction. Takers that are constantly squeezing everybody out of their life, they're not abundantly receiving anything from anybody anywhere because they're not giving anything out. Everything has an opposite reaction. So if you're constantly thinking you're winning battles, you're losing wars. Straight up, I'm telling you that this is a law of the universe, and I know this abundantly because I've seen it in my own life. Even when you are when I've been at my brokest, Joe, or there's been times where things are really tight, I remind myself that I need to stay in a giving mindset. This is a moment in time, but I'm going to continue to give and look to lift people up. Now, think of this. You go to a restaurant, and it's a place that you frequent regularly, and you get a lot of the same people that wait on you. Why not tip them nicely? Why not give them a nice little gratitude card, or even just say, hey, I just want you to know you've made my entire day. Every time I come here, you're always so pleasant. You're so friendly. I just want you to know that you matter and that you're a highlight of my day. Like, I really look forward to walking in here. A big reason I come here is because of the service that you provide me. And everybody that I bring here always feels good walking away. Thank you.
You know, it's such an interesting thing. Like, I have a barber. So I go see Mike Cluth, my guy, Four Crows. I've been going there since the week they opened in like 2018, 17, however long it's been. And I've recommended 100 friends to go there, right? It's where you go now, right? Now, Mike is such a great guy. I have never left there without tipping 25%. It's like I hit whatever the maximum button is. Do I need to? Probably not. Does he need the money? No. But to me, it's just that act of showing, hey, man, like, I really appreciate you, and I always will. One time in 6 or 7 years, I've been like, hey, I'm in a bind. I need a haircut. And what do you think he said when I said that to him?
Let's make it happen.
Come down right now.
Yeah.
Right? One time I've done that. And I think it's so important just to, especially if people run those small businesses in your town. Like, I just see agents, I hear horror stories of people like using and abusing small businesses, trying to get a deal. Man, that is toxic. What a toxic trait. You should be leaving a Google review for every single business you frequent. But how many people do?
Yeah.
You want all these Google reviews. I mean, how many leads come into our ecosystem every month through Google reviews? I think it's like 20, 25.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got almost 300 reviews at this point.
350. Yeah, it's a big number.
It's crazy. And people want those, but they don't want to give them, right? So again, they're sort of throwing off that balance. Like, there's no yin and yang.
Totally.
It's all yang, baby. Yeah. All yang all the time.
If you just look at everything from how do I help this person? So I'll give you a tip for some of the people that are struggling with this whole idea of being a more giving person. Here's what you do. Instead of asking yourself, well, how do I benefit from this situation? I want you to stop yourself and say, how does this person benefit? What's the greater possibilities with this relationship? And if you look at everything in that sense, you start making long-term decisions and you stop trying to win on the nickels and you play for the dollars. And that will change everything in your life, Joe. I can't tell you how many bills, tabs I pick up every year, how much money. You know what? The more I give, the better my life gets. I'll just tell you that. The more I've given and helped genuinely other people, the more my life's benefited. And there's times where it's tougher, where it's like hard to not look at yourself and be like, oh, what's in it for me? But the number one thing is I always go back through that filter and I say, no, how do I help benefit this person? How does this benefit the greater relationship? For example, during COVID, when all the world was shutting down and I was like, holy crap, what did I do? I went and I got home equity lines of credits on all my investment properties. I basically put a war chest of money together And I was prepared to spend every dollar that I had to keep everybody employed and working because I knew this was a moment in time. And I was willing and ready and able to put my own family in jeopardy to take care of the lives of the people that I've committed to. And I think what that shows is that like when times get tough as a leader, I'm willing to get tougher. I cut my own income back to like just the bare minimums. Like I did everything I could to make sure just in case the worst case scenario happened, I kept people moving forwards. That was coming from a place of remembering that I need to give. I need to come from that place that helps everybody win. Well, guess what? It was a moment in time. We came through COVID like with flying colors, had our best year ever. Why? Because we never pulled back. See, a lot of takers would have slashed jobs right away, laid people off. And as soon as you do that, what does that do to your culture? What does that do to the confidence of the people around you? What does that make them think?
Destroys trust.
Destroys trust. When times get tough, are they going to get tough with you? No, they're going to turn their back on you. You want loyalty? They're going to be looking for another opportunity. They're going to look for somebody more stable. They're going to look for something that's going to give them long-term security. So guys, as entrepreneurs, your job is sometimes to weather some really tough times. It's not easy. Believe me, there's a lot of times, where I'm like, oh man, but I stay in that giving mindset and it changes everything. Why? Because now we still have the same people here. We still have that core foundation and there's trust. And I think it's important that people can see a long-term vision and a long-term future with what you're building and make them a part of it. We don't have any employees here. Everybody's considered a business partner. Everybody's treated like they matter. Well, do you do that with everybody in your life? And if you did, how different would it look? You could change everything by simply becoming a more giving person. And my favorite book of all time is The Go-Giver. And it talks about the laws of giving, right? Give more in value than people will expect in payment. Again, a simple question in business. Should I be nickeling and diming this right now? Or should I be thinking about how do I make the client experience better, right? Client takes possession of a home and it's messy and the people didn't clean it up. Well, instead of sitting and fighting with the other agent for a week, solve the problem right away. Get a cleaner in there. Just pick up the tab and say, you know what? Thank you so much for your business. I'm really genuinely sorry that this was the experience on the other party, but I want you to know that I stepped up and I brought this person in because I really value your business and I wanted to give you as clean of a home as possible. Yep. Thank you for your business. Just do the right thing, guys, right? Stop being a taker. And if you're trying to build a team, two takers never work because the second things get a little bit rocky, what are they going to do, Joe?
Oh, it's who else can I take from?
Yeah.
Next. So I got a couple things that I wanted to go through that are super important before we start signing off. Now, in a couple weeks, EXPCon's coming up.
Yeah, EXPCon.
You're a speaker, man, at EXPCon.
Yeah.
I'm insanely pumped on that. It'll bring a tear to my eye because the very first thing that you and I ever did together, our very first time really like hanging out in this thing of ours, was we drove down to Victoria to do a social media conference. And there was about 20 people in the room. I still have the picture of it. And you talked a bit about Facebook and stuff like that. It was like a 15-minute presentation. So I'm excited, man. We went from rooms of 20 people to thousands. So,
well, I don't know if it'll be thousands, but
oh, fuck it. It's thousands.
Maybe it'll be 500 people. Who knows? But I get to be on a panel, which is pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. We're throwing a pretty cool epic party there, secret party. We're going to do that. We're going to be connecting with people. Mayor Pooltown is going to be there. If there's a pool, I'll be there, networking, meeting people, deepening relationships. That's really what it's about. We're also building something very, very cool right now. It's very underground.
Very
underground. But, there's something that we're working on and building that really ties into the big picture. And if you're somebody that's values-based, that understands that you need to give more in value to others than you'll ever receive in payment, if you understand that the law of being truly a giver, then this may be something that you want to be a part of. I can tell you that if you want to become exponentially more successful in the world, you need to surround yourself with the right values-based people and like-minded people. And when you have a huge wolf pack, it's amazing what's possible. So some cool things that we're brewing right now and some big goals that we've set, huge goals that we set for our companies and the things that we're doing. We're taking our Sims Academy to a whole nother level. Anybody that's been through our academies, we're going to take things and make them way better. So we've added things like some actual one-on-one skills practice training. We have proper breakouts that we've set up, so we're going to be adding that to the schedule. We've added some Tony Robbins certified coaches, Brandon Bouchard coaches to the mix. So we're going to be able to bring a lot more mindset and things that are going to be practical and helping you unlock your potential there. So yeah, so many cool things that are happening. And truly, I truly believe this, Joe. It's because we really put out there that we are here to genuinely make impact, and we continually come from a place of serving others. And I think, you can never go wrong as a leader when you lead with your heart.
Love it. And again, look for us at EXPCon. So that is September 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, first EXPCon in Canada.
I know, man. Insanely excited for that. And as always, we also have our next Academy running on September 24th. So we will be giving away 2 spots as part of our scholarship program. So look for details on that. So if you're a struggling agent and you know this is something you need, then
we'll be there to help you.
We'll be there to help.
Check out Sims Academy. If you want to change your life, you really want to level up, love to help you guys. And thank you so much for our listeners and the people that are taking value from what we're saying. So appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too.